You walk into a room, and your instinct is not to say hello. Your instinct is to find the corner. You have a master's degree in blending into the wallpaper. You learned a long time ago that the safest place to be is invisible. You are the friend who listens to everyone else's problems, but never shares your own. You are the partner who says, "I'm fine," even when your heart is breaking. You are the employee who works harder than anyone else, but is terrified to ask for a raise. You feel like you are watching life through a pane of glass. Everyone else seems so colorful, so loud, so real. And you feel like a ghost haunting your own existence. This is not because you are shy. This is not because you are naturally quiet. This is the result of a very specific invisible wound called childhood emotional neglect, or CEN. It is the psychology of the ignored child. And today we are going to break the glass. We are going to find your voice. To understand this, we must first understand what neglect actually is. Most people think trauma is about what happened to you. Abuse, yelling, violence, but emotional neglect is different. It is not about what happened. It is about what didn't happen. It is the white space in your family photo. It is the validation that wasn't there, the questions that weren't asked, the comfort that wasn't given. Imagine a plant. If you stomp on it, that is abuse. But if you simply put it in a dark closet and never water it, that is neglect. The plant doesn't have broken stems. It doesn't have bruises, but it withers just the same. It learns to survive on the bare minimum. It learns to grow small to conserve energy. That plant is you. Neuroscience tells us that a child's brain develops through a process called mirroring. When a baby smiles, the parent smiles back. When the baby cries, the parent soothes them. The parent acts as a mirror, reflecting the child's existence back to them. This tells the child's brain, "I am real, I matter, I exist." But for the ignored child, the mirror was empty. When you cried, no one came. When you were excited, no one looked up from their phone. When you were afraid, you were told to stop being dramatic. So your brain did something brilliant to save you. It turned down the volume knob on your own needs. If no one else is going to listen to me, why should I listen to myself? You disconnected from your own internal signals. You became low maintenance. You became the easy child. And now, as an adult, you are still operating on that low volume setting. You feel numb. You feel like you don't know who you are or what you want. You struggle to make simple decisions like what to eat for dinner because you've spent a lifetime prioritizing everyone else's preferences over your own. This leads to a condition psychologists call alexithymia, emotional blindness. Because you ignored your feelings for so long, you literally lost the vocabulary for them. You don't say "I'm sad," you say "I'm tired." You don't say "I'm angry," you say "I'm stressed." You are living in a black and white movie while everyone else is seeing in color. This is not a personality flaw. This is a survival adaptation. You learned to be invisible because invisibility meant safety. But the war is over, and the armor that saved you then is suffocating you now. But before we can heal, we must identify who built the wall of silence around you. Neglect comes in many forms, and usually it is delivered by 3 specific types of parents. Which one raised you? Type 1, the well-meaning but overwhelmed. These parents loved you. They put food on the table. They drove you to soccer practice, but they were emotionally hollowed out. Maybe they were working 3 jobs to survive. Maybe they were caring for a sick relative. They were running on empty, so they had nothing left to give you. With these parents, you learned a heartbreaking lesson. My needs are a burden to people who are already tired. So you became the low-maintenance child out of love, trying to save them from more stress. Type 2, the achievement-focused narcissist. These parents didn't ignore you. They ignored your inner self. They paid attention only when you performed. Did you get an A? Did you score a goal? Did you look pretty? If you were achieving, the spotlight was blinding. But the moment you were sad, confused, or failing, the spotlight turned off. You became a prop in their play. You learned that you are only valuable when you are winning. Yourself was replaced by your stats. Type 3, the permissive absentee. These parents viewed themselves as cool or hands-off. They let you do whatever you wanted. No bedtime, no rules, no guidance. To a stranger, this looks like freedom. To a child, this feels like terrifying indifference. A child needs boundaries to feel safe. A fence says, I care where you go. No fence says, I don't care if you get lost. Growing up with no rules didn't make you free. It made you feel like you were floating in space, untethered and unseen. Identifying your architect is crucial. It stops you from blaming yourself. You weren't born silent. You were shaped by the specific blueprint of your home. History gives us a haunting metaphor for this condition. In Greek mythology, there is the story of the nymph Echo. Echo was once a vibrant, talkative spirit with a voice of her own, but she was cursed by the goddess Hera. The curse was cruel. Echo could no longer speak her own words. She could only repeat the last words spoken to her by others. She fell in love with Narcissus, a man obsessed only with himself. She followed him through the woods, desperate to tell him she loved him, but she could only echo his words back. When he rejected her, she fled to the caves and mountains. Slowly, her body faded away from grief and loneliness until nothing was left but her voice, a voice that wasn't even her own, just a reflection of others. This is the tragedy of the ignored child. Like Echo, you have lost the ability to initiate. You react, you respond, you adapt to the person in front of you. You become a chameleon, changing your colors to match the room. You can repeat what others want to hear, but you cannot speak your own truth. You have faded away until you are just a reflection of other people's needs. And this brings us to the most dangerous trap of all, the magnetism of neglect. Have you ever wondered why you keep attracting partners or friends who talk only about themselves? Why you end up with Narcissus? It is not bad luck. It is familiarity. Your nervous system was trained to believe that love looks like listening. Love looks like being small so someone else can be big. When you meet someone who takes up all the space, who ignores your needs, your brain doesn't say danger. Your brain says home. You become the perfect match for an emotional vampire. They need someone to feed on, and you have been trained to be food. They need an audience, and you have been trained to be silent. It is a perfect, tragic lock and key. This leads to the phenomenon of the false self. You build a mask of competency and hyper-independence. You project an image to the world. I don't need anything. I can handle it myself. You reject help before it can be offered because deep down you are terrified that if you ask, no one will answer, just like when you were small. But inside that fortress of independence, there is a child who is starving. A child who is screaming in a soundproof room. Perhaps the most painful symptom is the feeling of being a fraud. You feel like you are taking up space that doesn't belong to you. You apologize for existing. You say sorry when someone bumps into you. You shrink in your seat. You make yourself small physically, verbally, and energetically. But here is the truth that changes everything. The fact that you are watching this, The fact that you feel this ache in your chest proves that the echo is not all that is left. The real voice is still there. It is buried under layers of silence, but it is not dead. It is waiting. So, how do we turn the volume back up? How do we go from the ignored child to the self-assured adult? We don't do it by waiting for permission. We do it by practicing the art of taking space. Here's your toolkit. 3 steps to reclaim your existence. Step 1, the I exist pulse. This is a physical anchor. The ignored child lives in their head, disconnected from the body. To find your voice, you must first find your feet. Right now, press your feet firmly into the floor. Feel the ground pushing back. That sensation? That is gravity acknowledging you. Physics does not ignore you. You have mass, you have weight, you occupy space. Whenever you feel yourself shrinking in a conversation, use this anchor. Push your feet down. Remind your nervous system, I am here, I am solid, I am allowed to be here. Step 2, validate the anger. This is the step most people skip. You cannot heal neglect with just love. You need anger. For years, you suppressed the rage of being ignored. You turned it inward, and it became depression. Now, you must let it out. Not by screaming at your parents, but by acknowledging the injustice. It is okay to be angry that you were alone. It is okay to be furious that you had to raise yourself. Anger is not bad. Anger is the immune system of the soul. It says, I deserved better. When you feel a flash of irritation when someone interrupts you, don't swallow it. Listen to it. That is your self-respect trying to wake up. Step 3, the low-stakes assertion. You cannot start by confronting your deepest traumas. You must train the muscle of wanting on small things. Next time you order a coffee, be specific. Don't say whatever is fine. Say, I want it extra hot. When someone asks what movie to watch, don't say, I don't care. Pick one. Even if you truly don't care, pick one just to practice the act of choosing. These are micro assertions. You are teaching your brain that expressing a preference does not lead to catastrophe. You are rewiring the silent survival circuit, 1 cup of coffee at a time. This journey is not easy. The first time you speak up, your voice might shake. Good. Let it shake. A shaking voice is better than a silent one. The first time you set a boundary, you might feel selfish. That is not selfishness. That is the unfamiliar feeling of self-respect. You are breaking a generational curse of silence. You are rewriting the script that said you didn't matter. And here is the beautiful reality. The world doesn't need another echo. The world needs you. Your unique perspective, your specific desires, your messy, loud, real self. The people who truly love you want to know the real you, not the convenient you. You have spent your life blending in. It is time to stand out. This journey is not meant to be taken alone. The first step in finding your voice is to use it. So in the comments below, I invite you to break the silence. Let us know you are here. Start your comment with the 2 words that declare your new reality. Map drawn. Then finish this sentence. I am no longer willing to ignore my need for, is it rest, respect, connection, creativity? Speak it into existence. If this is the beginning of your journey, subscribe and join the expedition. New maps for the mind are drawn here every week. You were the child who learned to be invisible. Now become the adult who is impossible to ignore. Not because you are loud, but because you are real. You have a voice. It is time to let us hear it.